third graders. The next letter we're practicing in cursive is the H. But before we do that, I want to take a minute just to remind you that if there's certain letters that are tricky for you to do, go backwards in your book to practice. It's very important that you do the lines in the order that they show you. Otherwise, it will be very challenging to make the cursive letters and make them connect to each other. So keep that in mind as you're practicing. To make the letter H, it tells us we're going to start by making a little tail or curve here, and we're going to travel straight up like a helicopter. Then we're going to come back down. And then it wants us to pretend we're climbing up and over this ladder to make the bump of the letter H. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to go up, straight up. When I get to the top, I have to trace that same line and come back down again. And then I'm ready to go back up. So straight up and down. And then I make my bump. I go back up to make my bump. This bump is touching that line right there. So I go curve line straight up, straight back down, and up to make my bump. And the letter H is going to end with this little tail too. Pretty much all of our letters end this way because this allows us to continue on to our next letter, to connect our next letter to that H. So let me practice that H. I trace one time, and then I do it by myself. I trace one time, and then I do it by myself. It might be good if you have not gotten out your book yet, pause this video and take out your book and do these along with me. You can watch the video and listen to me while you do the letters in your own workbook. So I start on the dot, I go straight up and down, and then I make my bump, and I end with my tail. And then the very last spot is where it's like my last chance, where I check my work. If all that practice has paid off and I'm able to, that's probably my best one, I think. My goal should be to have this one be my best one after I've done all this practice. And then we're going to practice connecting some letters. So I'm going to start by tracing my G and make my magic C. I go up to connect it, and then I come down to make my little tail. And I don't pick up my pencil. I continue straight up to make my H, back down, and the bump. What's challenging about cursive is that we're trying to make these letters connect, and we're not picking up our pencil. I did pretty good on that one. So I trace my G. I start with the magic C, make the A, make the tail of the G, and then go straight up to make my H. Now I try it on my own. So you're going to continue doing these other practice combinations. We have H-A-G, C-H-A, and H-A-D. Always trace first. This is the chance for you to practice by tracing in the book before you do it on your own. And if you're doing one that's challenging for you, go back to trace it. And if you need to, go back to, if I'm having a hard time with my A or my G, I can go back to that page where I practice that letter and do some practice there before I continue. The second page is the letter H again, and we've got some other combinations. So just like on page 14, we trace and do it ourselves. Trace and do it ourselves. And then we always get to practice the capital letter when we get to the bottom here. So the capital letter, H, has like a little curved line here. And then I go straight down. And then in this case, I'm going to pick up my pencil. And now I'm going to come over to this side. Let me zoom in on this for you. So I did this line here. And now I pick up my pencil. And I'm going to make this straight line down. And then I'm going to go back up and make this little loop here. Fancy little loop in the middle. Then I do my lowercase. Let's try that uppercase again. So it's like a curve with a straight line down. Now I pick up my pencil and I do my next straight line down, and then I go up and make my curve. And then I do my lowercase. Oh, that one was a little bit slanted. All right, guys, good luck practicing those cursive letters.